This shitty Dallas Cowboys team preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is giving away $15 million. Best Ball Mania 5. Sign up with SGPN to claim your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's college football and NFL projections are now live. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
What's up, everybody? You're watching SGPN. Fuck the Cowboys. Let's go, baby.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. One of these years, we're actually not going to put out a preview, and that's going to be the preview.
Is a disgusting act.
It's as much as we hate to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. It is fun to shit
Still
on
football.
them, and I think I would miss shitting on them. Shout out to Ryan rocking Dallas Cowboys colors.
Yeah, I
here.
like this. See this? It's
Are you supporting? Are you supporting?
No, it's
Dallas?
a soccer shirt.
Okay.
It's a soccer shirt. I thought it would be a nice way to give those Cowboys fans a little dig. Like soccer.
Some soccer fans.
Soccer moms out there.
All right, I like it.
Although they're pretty angry with their team right now. If I was going to use the youth sports analogy, this is when the parents all of a sudden realize that the team manager and the coach both don't know what they're doing, and they're up the ass of the guy who's running the club. So not a good spot to be in, and it doesn't help when your owner is just saying things. Imagine letting Jerry Jones still talk on a mic. You got to just like figure it out.
No rush to get
look. They figured it out with the president. Like I'm sure you can whip out some similar. Can we get a fake Jerry? Maybe get the Jerry face so we can have someone that's not going to say
$700 billion and a trillion.
What will you sign CeeDee Lamb for this upcoming season?
$700 billion and a trillion.
What are you going to have? What are you going to pay Dak Prescott?
$700 billion and a trillion 300 million.
Who could have thunk it that was like that would have became tame talk for Biden. That drop there.
Oh yeah,
not the most embarrassing thing he said out loud. All right.
So yeah, Jerry Jones saying there's no urgency to get CeeDee Lamb signed, which I agree. No urgency. Don't get him signed.
In fairness, it does seem like Jerry went off the reservation with this one.
Well, also I saw one of the aggregators.
Sounds like the kid. Sounds like they're like, Dad, we're working on something. Like fuck off.
One of the aggregators had the rumor is supposedly Jerry Jones is all in on Shedeur Sanders.
Oh,
Ryan. My prediction is Shedeur Sanders will be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys next year, and he will be coached by Coach Prime. There's no salary cap for NFL coaches. Doesn't it make
they are a match made in heaven?
Doesn't it make two of the people who like making noise the most, two of the people who like the getting the press and the attention? One of the last times the Cowboys were good was when Deion Sanders was in a Cowboys uniform. Does it not make a ton of sense?
Get it out now. Get the graphic out now. Breaking news. Break the news right now.
Deion Sanders will be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Market.
Wow,
that's a great Kramer. I connected the dots myself.
As a fan of not the Cowboys, that would delight me. I don't think I think we might be seeing the end of the Coach Prime experiment.
I disagree with that. I think he's actually like a perfect,
like a good
football
coach. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think I think whatever's happening to him is going to cause the downfall of his own ability to be successful. I don't know, the press conference, like even like watching his long form press conference where he kind of, I don't know, he's turning into a strange diva. I liked a lot of what he says about coaching and about kids, but it does seem like that whatever's happening, it's causing people to get to sour on him. So
Ryan, he was a part of the, of course, the last team of the Dallas Cowboys to win a To win.
To win what? They haven't won a lot. You're gonna have to be more
conference
specific.
championship
Okay.
game. We got to get the time machine out. January 14th, 1996. Dion was on that roster.
How old were you then, Sean?
I was what 13 years old.
Horrible time of our lives, having to sit through and watch the Cowboys be successful as we were. It was a really
super horny for ladies and an Eagles win, and it was especially backbreaking for me because the Eagles had some really good teams, some awesome defenses in the early '90s. Shout out to Reggie White, Jerome Brown, Seth Joyner, Clyde Simmons, Wes Hopkins, Eric Allen.
Eagles are the forgotten team from the division of that,
and because it was, Buddy Ryan thought play calling was gay for the offense, and he refused to give Randall Cunningham any sort of real shot. And their best team in 1991, Randall blew out his leg opening day, so that was brutal. But now we have our revenge. Eagles winning Super Bowls, winning NFC championships, and Cowboys. Okay, they've had a couple regular seasons,
Super Bowls.
What?
You said Eagles winning Super Bowls.
No, they've gotten to
singular Super Bowl.
So they won a Super Bowl in 2017. They've been to 2 other ones since the Cowboys last won.
Okay, that's better.
NFC championship. I mean, the ending of these Cowboys seasons have really been a delight. 2021 will take you back. Of course, ends on a play where Dak runs around when the clock needed to be stopped. They called the QB scramble. He slides and time expires. 2022.
Dak, no.
2022 season ended with Zeke playing center. We thought that was going to be the last time we'd see him in a Cowboys uniform. Oh no, he's back. Maybe we'll get some O-line reps. And then last year, getting just absolutely curb stomped by the Green Bay Packers as a pretty big favorite. Just great way to end things.
Yeah, just to see the Jerry face. Like getting to see his reaction to the end of the season.
The cuts to him in the booth are just amazing. And
not much to add to that, Sean. It's been a nice couple of years from that perspective.
Yeah, I do think now we've got the playoff. Them doing anything in playoffs completely not going to happen. But they have unfortunately been okay in the regular season.
Really,
we of course had the under last year. Win total is 9.5. They did go 12-5, but we are now up to 15-7 for me. Win totals last year. Kramer's 14-8. And the phrase that pays for the Cowboys episode is and. And also, I will throw this out there. I guess we'll mention it in other episodes, but I'm gonna. If you DM me privately and you say you refuse to listen to this episode, I understand that choice. So if you DM me directly, I will give you the code word. Now, obviously, I'll have to mention it on other episodes because if you heard this, then it meant you were listening to it. But we'll get that.
Unfortunately, Sean, this turns into one of our more downloaded team preview episodes for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe Cowboys fans are just diabolical like that. They like the pain a little bit and the pleasure. Easy
saying Dak is Romo 2.0. It's certainly apt comparison of a guy who puts up a bunch of regular season stats, comical endings to their seasons. I mean, Tony Romo and that Seattle playoff game, that would be tough for even Dak to top that one. But he's certainly on pace. He's certainly on pace to have that kind of insane collapse.
Shared an intimate relationship with a teammate. A little bit of a stretch there, but him and T.O. were kind of like Zeke and Dak.
Yeah.
Remember when Dak and Zeke exchanged luggage?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sean, have we ever exchanged luggage as a gift?
No.
That's a weird thing to do.
No. Let's see. Cowboys 3-5 against playoff teams. I really do think they're gonna regress because let's take a look at their players they brought in and players they lost. Offensive line,
big incoming players, physically big.
Yeah,
large.
They did draft offensive tackle Tyler Guyton, but they're
talking about Zeke.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy. They brought in Zeke, Royce Freeman, Eric Kendricks. That's about it for a team that was supposedly all in. Really super quiet in free agency. I mean, Tyler Guyton sure might be okay, but he's a rookie, and their offensive line, man. I think this is the year it all kind of falls apart.
Oh, yeah. This is tough.
And last year their running game was kind of hitting a wall, only 4.1 yards per carry. And some of that was that was actually their worst number since 2012. I don't see how that gets any better with the offensive line getting worse, with fat ass Zeke coming back.
He did look a little trimmer.
And
if we're being fair.
We're not. And you can run on this Cowboys team. I mean, you know, when they went up to Buffalo, they got ran all over. Arizona ran all over them. Like there is a blueprint on how to beat the Cowboys. It's to run it down their throats.
Dan Quinn was a good
physicality.
Yeah, Dan Quinn was a good defensive coordinator who clearly was respected in the locker room. He's not going to be there anymore. We're back to Mike McCarthy. And Sean, it delights me so much that we get to bring back the Humpty Dumpty. What week does Humpty Dumpty fall off the wall this year? He's getting fired at the end of this year.
It does
right?
feel like, well,
maybe not mid-season.
I mean, they had basically a week where they were thinking on whether they were not gonna fire him or not. Not a good sign.
Do you think they keep him around just because they'll do whatever Jerry likes him just because he says yes?
Must be. I mean, because you have to kind of play the Jerry game.
Everyone's had that.
If you're going to be coach to the Cowboys,
where there's one guy, one executive who's completely fucking useless, but somehow he stuck around for 25 years. And guess what? I mean, cockroaches survive too. I mean, that's
Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. What do you need? What do you need, Jerry? Okay. Don't say anything about the CD Lamb situation. Got it, boss.
Talk to Dick Puncher. Packers fans do not miss Mike McCarthy at all. Even though he went on it. You look at his regular season record. It's good.
Very good.
You know, and usually if your head coach went on to,
how many of those years are Aaron Rodgers though? I mean, there is an element of it is a lot easier to be a great coach when you have a great player. Vice versa, obviously, and his offense clearly has resonated throughout the league. He's just much like Vic Fangio. The league has passed him by, and Mike McCarthy is no longer good at anything.
Yeah,
he's not good at leading. He's not good at offense. He's not good at talking into a mic. He's not good at looking confident. Loser vibes all over the building. In Dallas.
Well, and it's great,
except for Micah Parsons,
because they've actually done pretty well in the draft, but even that they managed to fuck up with the situation right now where they have to pay Dak, they have to pay Micah Parsons, and they have to pay CeeDee Lamb. And even stepping away the hater from me, I think of those three people, if you had to get rid of one, to me it's Dak, no question. No question, Dak is the guy you get rid of and try to build around a rookie quarterback. I'm honestly surprised they didn't pull the trigger this year. It feels like it feels like a lame duck year for Dak and Mike McCarthy, who I don't think will be back, and that's why they're not extending him. That's why they're not, redoing his deal. In some ways, maybe the Cowboys are doing something smart by not giving him $60 million.
No, I think the issue is the thing that they routinely do that's not smart is they wait.
Yes,
because if they had signed him or if they had just made a decision, they would be in a better place in both scenarios. And so really their lack of being able to make a decision, and clearly that's Jerry has a hard time paying dudes money. That's the bottom line. If we want to do a case study on it, Jerry doesn't want to pay wide receivers. Jerry thinks they're flashy. Jerry thinks they're driving down the street too fast. Jerry thinks they got to install some speed bumps.
In his defense, he did pay Michael Irvin a lot of money, and
maybe that's why he doesn't want to pay CeeDee Lamb.
Maybe he's like, hey, Michael was a great receiver until he started getting that money, and then things kind of went off the rails there.
I had a sports car once. It was a bad idea.
Shout out to Japan in the YouTube chat.
Love Japan.
He has a model that's showing the Cowboys finish worse than the Patriots. So stay tuned to some of the future plays we have. Last reason why I think the Cowboys are going to suck, amongst many, they had 6 defensive touchdowns last year. There is no way in hell
from one guy, right?
Well, Bland had 5, but then they still had another one there. To get Bland is not having 5 defensive touchdowns again. If he does, I'll shave my head right.
I think the most obvious thing to me is that, because I think the passing offense could be good again, but I think the defense taking a step back is clear. And what happens if if the offense isn't quite as great, even if they're just as good, but the defense isn't participating in the same way they have been.
Yeah,
certainly there's some opportunity to take a step back. I also think just the volatility in the room. I think whatever Dan Quinn was to this team, he clearly was a bit of stability, and now you have Mike McCarthy in a big void. No adults. Mike Zimmer, Mike Zimmer is the adult in the room. Sean, is that a problem?
I don't know. Zimmer, I do like.
Well, yeah, but like in terms of creating problems, like if the offense is playing a little shitty, and Mike Zimmer might have something to say about it. Maybe Jerry's promised him the coaching job once he fires Mike McCarthy. I don't know. I don't think I like Mike Zimmer as well, but Sean, we were like overtly making fun of Mike Zimmer being checked out of football at the end in Minnesota because he was just all about that lifestyle.
Yeah, he does have a really young, hot girlfriend.
And so I can't imagine he's grinding at the same level that Dan Quinn.
Okay,
was.
we have to real quick bring back. I sent it to the Slack with you and Josh, Ryan. If you could,
what's going on?
If you could please pull up this photo of Mike Zimmer. It's one of my favorite football images of all time. Mike clearly dealing with a medical issue here. he had his regular glasses over an eye patch that created. I mean, I could just go down a Mike Zimmer eye patch hole. It's hard to tell because some of these are clearly photoshopped, but then I can't separate. All right, I'm sending another one over. I can't tell which ones are the fake ones and which ones are real. But Mike Zimmer eye patch, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. I don't know, just something about laying the sunglasses over the eye patch. Get this man a monocle. What are we doing?
It's interesting because I'm fine if a Cowboys fan wants to be excited about Mike Zimmer. I can't. This doesn't seem like the best team for him to be coming into, or this whole situation. Like the coach is definitely getting fired. I think most Cowboys fans would like him to be fired. I think most Cowboys fans would like the quarterback to be gone.
Well, yeah, it does seem like fan excitement is at an all-time low. Hey. We're going to walk through the schedule. Before we do that, underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Get in over there. Get in on some pick'em. I mean, higher lower for the Cowboys. There's a lot of lowers, Ryan, that are jumping out in my model.
Really?
Yeah, because look at all right, Cowboys going to enter that in there. CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you could even get down. CeeDee Lamb.
Is he going to play?
That's the other thing against this Browns defense opening. You got
to be careful with that season-long prop stuff. Some places will have have to play first game for action. So be careful.
Well, this is for NFL Week 1, Ryan, and of course it's fantasy projections. Dak Prescott 32.5 passing touchdowns. Lower seems like a great value to me. All that and much more. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN, and of course Circa Sports, your home to 16 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and of course 2 ways to win. No rake. 16 million given out. It's got to be a great feeling giving out $16 million. Awesome experience. Of course, enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. Just go to proxy.footballcontest.com. Use the promo code SGP. Just hit up Vegas Maddie on X. He'll get you hooked up. And when you use the promo code SGP, get $50 off. Good times there. Circusports.com. Come out and say hi. August 22nd through the 24th. We're going to be doing some live podcasts. We of course got a recent show. There's a bunch of open bar events. It's going to be a good time. And promo code SGP15, get your 15% off your hotel stay August 22nd through the 24th. Get all the info, circusports.com.
One more fun nugget about the Cowboys.
Yes.
More than half of their point differential, almost half of their point differential came from the 2 Giants games. That's so. I mean, that is 89 to 17. I don't think is going to happen over 2 games again this year. Just going to make that bold prediction.
So what do you? Oh man,
why are you laughing so hard?
Well, it was
actually
funny.
It's quite interesting. You see these. So they had a 89 to 17 point differential over the Giants. 38-3.
They beat up on bad teams.
38-3 over the Patriots. 30-10 over the Jets. And Washington 45 to. I mean, you basically just pluck out the top 5 picks here, and you can find where they were good. Classic Cowboys team. All
right. Joining us on the line, listener and Cowboys fan Cereal. What's happening, Cereal?
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Well, I mean, we were doing better when we're not talking Cowboys.
That's usually how that goes.
So your Dallas Cowboys. What's the fan level going into the season? It seems like, as an outsider, it seems low. I don't see a lot of Cowboys fans in my mentions. There's not a lot of chirping going on. It's all just drama surrounding these who's playing, who's not, who's going to get their deal done. Where are you at with level of excitement, Cereal?
Probably at a good 70%.
Oh,
70.
That's pretty high for you.
Last year I was at like 100%. Did you see the schedule we had last year?
So is it Dak? What's the 30%? Is it Dak, McCarthy? What's holding you back?
It's not necessarily Dak. It's really just the schedule that we have this year and the teams that we're going to be facing, and a lot of them seem to be really good at what we're really bad at.
Oh wow. Already projecting negative.
Well, Ryan, I mean, we got a soggy Cereal. He seems a little sad here. I expected myself to have the lowest Cowboys win-loss record when we walked through the schedule, but Cereal's. I mean, he sounds almost more optimistic than me. Is there anything you're positive on coming into this Cowboys season, Cereal?
Positive, we'll still make the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
We'll split the series with the Eagles. We'll probably still sweep the Giants. So
who will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year?
Probably still Humpty Dumpty.
Is that what you want?
I mean, I don't mind it. Offense wasn't the problem last year. If you look at all the losses that we had, it's because the defense were giving up like 30 points a game to all the other teams.
It is true. So, I did repeatedly ask you. This is the defensive coordinator who's getting a head coaching job down the stretch, Sean.
Yeah,
it did seem like there was a little bit of like that playoff game just reeked quit.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's certainly not a bright spot on the Dan Quinn resume.
Like the Washington's like, yeah, we got our guy, and then they just get what'd you say? Skull fucked. Or
curb stomped. Are you worried that there could be a QB controversy in Dallas with Trey Lance's emergence after that electric preseason game?
No, because he got behind Cooper Rush still. So yeah. Still got
that. I will say if it's almost double whammy, Sean, because you also get the anti-San Francisco stuff. It all happens.
Yeah, it really was great. Joseph pointing out they also sucked on the road because they had a young O-line that didn't play well in road games. I'm worried about your offensive line. I'm worried about the franchise. It just seems like they're in shambles.
But serious question: is CeeDee Lamb playing week 1?
Yes, he will still play. This is the same type of stuff that was happening when Zeke was looking for his contract. So I'm not necessarily worried about that. And plus, we've already offered him 4 years, 137 million. I think I heard it the other day. So it's not like we haven't tried to get him already to sign. Sure,
it is interesting. I kind of agree with the Cowboys. Like I think CeeDee Lamb is a very good player, but he's not Justin Jefferson to me. So there is an element where I guess this is just how you do business in Dallas.
But Cereal, if you had to lose one, if you could only pay 2 out of the 3, who are you getting rid of?
Dak.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was quick.
There was no snap call. Well, because
he's going to try to get 60 mil. He's not worth 60 million to me. He's not getting us past maybe the second round of the playoffs. He hasn't done it so far. So what would make me think that he's going to do it ever? Someone would be happy to pay him and have him as his quarterback. Good for that team. Move on. Let's get somebody else.
I mean, you could make a case for CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, top few at that position, but no one is bold enough to say that about Dak, especially with what's happened in the playoffs. So yeah, I think as much as it's tough to find a quarterback, you do have Trey Lance, number 3 pick overall. You got to see what the kid has, get him out on the field.
Yeah, he looked kind of all right when it came to that preseason game. He had a couple good runs in there, so that's what really they're going to use him for, if anything.
I mean, I would say that if I was asked what are the players I'm most it's the offensive players are not the fear. Like Micah Parsons is the only guy on that team to me that's like top. Whatever you if the Cowboys get into a weird contract thing with him, it's like you dumb motherfuckers.
Cereal, when Dak ends up signing with the New York Giants, would you still root for Dak?
No.
Okay.
It was the same thing when what's his name went to the Eagles and said he wanted to win championships. It wasn't about the money.
Who, DeMarco Murray?
Yes, that guy. I burned his jersey.
Yeah, I didn't root for DeMarco Murray that long either. That was a bad signing by Chip Kelly.
Oh, that was the last time Howie went. Well, I guess Howie wasn't involved in that running back splurge. I don't get to make a good Saquon dig.
All right, let's get to the schedule.
Talk about the schedule.
I mean, week 1 in Cleveland. Well, the win total set at 10.5 for some reason. Make playoffs -205, miss playoffs +165, division +165, conference 8-1, Super Bowl 18-1.
The price has shifted big time. We saw the Cowboys as the chalk in the division early in the offseason process. And with all of the turmoil, they've moved from being the chalk at about even money to
they were. I think you even had to lay some money early on.
Maybe -110. Yeah. So now big move.
Of course, no one in the NFC East wins back-to-back NFC East titles. You have to go back to 2003, 2004. I think of these, a lot of value on missed playoffs, but we'll go through the schedule and just make sure I'm not missing anything here, Ryan.
The chat does seem to be all over the place. I see a little positive mostly negative Cowboy stuff, which is nice to see. Warms my heart, Sean.
Lante from the NBA Gambling Podcast saying missed playoffs smash.
Oh, wow. Smash! I will say, Sean, we made a lot of money over the years going under that 9.5 for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Over and over again. All right. Worth noting, the Cowboys do have a favorable schedule.
You think so?
In the sense that they're favored in a lot of games. So be careful out there when you're listening to these sharps explain the schedule. Like we've discussed before, some of these schedules, like by the numbers, by the point spread. But what was the nugget you were sharing with me before the show, Sean, about the total? Or the win total for the Cowboys?
Oh yeah, the under is one of the most bets over on Fanatic Sportsbook. It was under Cowboys 10.5 wins is -200. It's one of 93% of the bets.
So you don't generally see that pushed across all of the look ahead numbers. So when you see a team in the Cowboys that are favored in 14 games, but a large chunk of those are 1 point favorite, 2 point favorite. You could very easily, with the kind of action coming in on the under, see those micro adjustments happen, and now all of a sudden you're favored in 9 games. And so, worth noting, people will tell you there's elements of this schedule that look easy. The old school methods will tell you it's a little harder. It's just outside the top 10 in terms of strength of schedule. But I think in general, when you look at it, it comes off as like, oh man, this is not the easiest run. Especially early when there could be some of that turmoil. Maybe CeeDee Lamb holds out, Sean. Maybe, just maybe. At Cleveland, first 4, as always, break it into quadrants. You can do the math. 17 divided by 4. Cleveland on the road, which we just broke down the Browns with Big Play Dave. We talked about the home edge there. We talked about how there's splits at home and they're just a different animal. You got the Amari Cooper revenge spot there too. New Orleans then comes to Big D, where Dallas will be a healthy favorite. Then Baltimore comes to town, little marquee afternoon game there, and then the Giants, Thursday night football, scene of the crime. Again, the point differential horrible last year. I could see how people might suggest that this would be a win for the Cowboys on the road. What do you see here, win-loss wise, Sean?
Let's see. I mean, Saints could be. Well, Browns. I really think
that's a loss.
Yeah, this Browns defense at home is. I think the Cowboys offensive line is going to get a rude awakening at home against the Saints. I'm not really high on the Saints. Maybe they pull it out. The Ravens. This is a Lamar Jackson just light up the back end defensively. Giants. do also suck, so that's going to be tough. Maybe we get our first tie of the season. I'll go 1-3. Ryan, what do you got them?
So what? They win the Saints game?
We'll see. I think maybe the Giants.
Okay. Road game on the road.
Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty on the road. 1-3.
1-3.
1-3.
Cereal. How say you on the Cowboys' first 4 games?
This is 3-1.
Oh,
I don't know where you guys are getting all this hype on the Browns. The Browns are still going to be garbage. They have Massage Watson throwing the ball. And if you forget who we got as our corners, are we scared of Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper revenge game. Come on.
Sick. We got Trayvon Diggs. We got Deron Bland. We got Seatbelt. You know what I'm saying? So lock them up. It's going to be over for the Browns. Same thing with the Saints. Welcome to Big D. Ravens is probably the one that I'm actually think that we're going to lose just because they're a run first team. They're really good defensively. And then at least Kramer's got to be happy. He doesn't have to start the season with the Cowboys this year. Granted, still going to probably be 40-0, but
I think it's going to be a slightly different situation. A lot of
41-0. Yeah, no, to your point, I now the Browns don't have Nick Chubb, but I still think they could run the ball on you guys. I think that's, and the Ravens too, especially. I think that's still going to be a little bit of a weakness for them.
Actually, you know what? 0-4.
0-4. Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, it's a tough start to the schedule. I'm dead serious. You're going to hear me talk about the last winless team market later on, Sean. At Steelers, Lions at home, then a bye week right in the middle of the season, then at Niners, at Falcons. Oof. Sean, that's 3 road games in 4 weeks.
They're not beating the Steelers, not with TJ Watt on that side of the ball.
The Lions are better than them.
Lions, I mean, the Lions have this game circled. I know. Yeah. I would actually like Lions on an alt line here. Maybe a little pleaser, Ryan.
Love a pleaser.
A pleaser on the Lions right now. Look ahead at 49ers. You want to talk about a team that can now maybe. I predict Christian McCaffrey will just be getting healthy for this game.
Oh, nice one.
His only healthy game will be at home against the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be in trouble. The Falcons do suck, so I'll go with another 1-3. Ryan, I'm trying to be more fair to the Cowboys.
Lions are off a bye here too. By the way,
you remember how pissed off they were after that they got jobbed down in Dallas last year, and then played a bunch of their starters, used that momentum to go on a playoff run. I think they're going to be they may even be looking ahead to this game. They're actually probably lucky they have a bye before, because they might lose that game because they're so jacked to beat the Cowboys. Ryan, what do you got them here?
I think the 49ers are coming off the Kansas City game here.
Okay.
Which that to me, that's a vulnerable situation. And the Falcons might suck. I think we both think the Falcons could suck, but I look at these teams, Sean, and I think, wow, all of them can run the ball.
Yeah.
0-4. 0-4.
All right. Cereal, what do you have your Cowboys doing in this stretch? You do get a bye there.
2-2.
2-2.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
2-2. I say, unfortunately, there's that sandwich spot with the Falcons in there. It gets me a little bit nervous, because you're going at San Fran, which how many times we got to go to San Fran to get our ass beat, and then we got to go to the Falcons, and then we come back home to play a nice division game.
Yeah,
that is a tough. I will say the San Francisco spot is very difficult, and the Falcons, like, that's a sandwich spot between 2 divisional games. You can really find narratives as to how the Cowboys could be in a good spot. Not for me. All right,
it gets me worried, just like the Cardinals last year. We lost to them, then we had to go to San Fran, lose to that. It's not a good look.
All right, so we're coming into the second half of the year here, starting week 10. Eagles come to town for the first time. Then we got Texans on Monday Night Football, a little battle of Texas, Sean, at Commanders, and then Giants at home on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for some reason they're favored in all 4 of these games. Very tough situations. Commanders always seem to play them tight.
Commanders. I mean, Jane Daniels looking. I mean, if he stays healthy, will he still be healthy here though, Sean?
Yeah, that's also true.
That's the tricky part.
Giants, as we know, not a good team.
You just chopping the division ones here?
No, I don't do that. Think it's I'm gonna say 0-4 just in case people. Any section with the Eagles 0-4, I want to make clear 0-4.
No chance it can
no
be
chance people interpret it as a potential Eagles loss. Kramer, what are you doing here? This isn't easy.
It's not easy. I wonder if
you know what. I'll go 1-3. They beat the Giants on Thanksgiving.
Jerry's getting old, and he may have fired the coach at this point. Mike Zimmer might be at the helm. I don't know if that's a good thing. He's trying to rent boats there out in the Gulf. Remember last time Mike Zimmer got onto a boat with his team. That actually might not have been Mike Zimmer, but he does strike me as the kind of guy that would enjoy that. I got to be honest, Sean. I look around this schedule and did I say I was going to chop the home games?
Yeah, that's usually what you do. You just phone it in, and
I normally I would do that, but
yeah.
I think this is another tough stretch, so I'm going to have to say 0-4.
Okay, 0-4. Cereal, what do you got here? You have them 5-3. I got 3-9. Kramer 0-12. So varying opinions on the Cowboys.
Japan is a lockstep with me, by the way.
He also has them 0-12. Shout out to Japan in the chat. What do you got here?
I think we're going to go 3-1. Don't know which one of those games we're going to lose. I feel like the division game is probably going to be the one. This might finally be the year the Giants get a win against the Cowboys.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be a game. It's probably going to be Thanksgiving game. So Birds at home, we'll beat them just like we did last year. How many offensive touchdowns you scored that game?
How dare you? How dare you?
0.
Why would anyone do that?
Not scared of the Texans. They're not big in running the ball. Ooh, Commanders, we'll see. I think they're going to be a good team. They're on the up and up. I like what Jaden did in this first game. I think he's going to be probably better than Jalen when he gets another couple years under his belt.
Wow. All right.
That was good. Right. That was a good prognostication there.
You know what? This quadrant's now down to 0-4 just because all that's smarmy talk. Because I can't really take this guy serious.
You know what?
Jaden Daniels.
He makes good points. I do have to go to 1-3 because I will be chopping the Eagles and Cowboys game.
All right. So now Ryan's 1-11. I'm 2-10. Final stretch. Final last 5 games. Ryan, not looking good. If you took us to take the over on the Dallas Cowboys win total.
Looking great if you want to draft Shadir Sanders. That's part of the gimmick.
Yeah.
All right. Close it out. Week 14, Monday Night Football. Joe Burr comes to town. Then at Panther. Jerry's going to be so jealous watching Joe Burrow run around his field. He's like, I want a quarterback like that. At Panthers, Bucks at home, Sunday Night Football. At Eagles, and then Commanders at home. I mean, I think I said I was going to split the Commanders on the Commanders episode, so I have to stay true to that. And the Panthers do suck. Could the Cowboys beat the Panthers?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, I think so.
But it could be in between 2 primetime games, dome team going outdoor on that long Carolina grass.
Mike Zimmer takes over. They win 2 out of their last 5 games.
Wow.
So they go 2-3 down the stretch.
2-3. So Ryan has them going 3-14.
Oh, that's a perfect prediction.
This is tough. Bengals Monday Night Football. That's going to be tough.
Japan officially 0-17.
Panthers. Okay, maybe Bucks. No way. Rashad White's looking good. Old Eagles.
Old fashioned.
No, thank you.
Old fashioned football predicted a 2-2-1 finish. Throwing a tie in there. Come on.
All right. You know what? Yeah, I'll go. I do think they get 1 here. I'll go 1-4. So 3-14. Cereal 8-4 home stretch. What happens now?
For the first time in 4 years, we don't hit 12 wins. So 3-2 is what I got the final stretch. Eagles at home. That's probably going to be a loss. You know how the refs are in Philadelphia. We can't get past that. And I think maybe we drop the last game versus the Commanders in a probably meaningless game.
Oh, okay. Wow. So sitting the starters.
Wow.
Bold prediction. Kramer. So yes, officially I'm on 3-14. You're 3-14. Both like the under here. It's not only a lean, it's a lock on the under 10.5 wins. On Cereal, I likes the over 10.5 wins. Got them there to 11-6. We'll talk best bets before we do. Shout out to Rhythm, your home for AI sports picks and props. You can build your own model or just let Rhythm do the modeling for you and give you some nice winners here. I'll fire up Rhythm. Love this app. Very easy to use. Very easy to build your own model and play around with it too. Hey, what kind of stats matter to you? And it's super fun here. Obviously the props aren't out yet for NFL week 1, but they have a bunch of, early stuff. Yeah, I mean, just so fun, easy to get lost in this. Right now, Ryan, I know you're a big Raiders fan, but you can get the look ahead line on the Panthers versus Raiders. They think there's some value there in the, in the Panthers plus 162 with the odds there. Again, check out their model. Very fun, easy to use. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get you a 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Ryan, I got a bunch of futures I like for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, I'm on the under 10.5 wins.
Okay. I can be talked into that.
Missed playoffs at plus 165. And things could go wrong here. Things could go sideways. Maybe a group holdout. CD Lamb, Micah Parsons consider starting their own football team in Texas. Stage a group walkout because of unfair labor practices by Jerry Jones. You never know. And to get the Cowboys to have the fewest wins at 100-1, that to me a lot of value.
Put me down. That makes sense.
And then Cowboys, of course, 0-17 at 700-1 feels like worth it. I know I have them projected
how much
at 700-1, which
700-1,
which feels like a misprice.
Phone the accountant. We're gonna need to secure a holding in this one. Last winless team 45-1.
Okay.
They play the Giants, or I'm asking you because I'm taking.
I'm not. No, because they play the Giants. They'll probably get it.
Give me that one. You're picking the Cowboys to win games. I'm gonna clip this out, send it to your parents.
So Cowboys 0-17. You got Ryan. What else? Anything else you like?
If there's is there a chance CD Lamb holds out? Because his totals are through the roof. I mean, over on Underdog, Sean, and maybe we can just jump ahead. 1,399.5 receiving yards. He's being mushed as the consensus #1 overall receiver in a pool with Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. I mean, I would even sprinkle Amon-Ra in that conversation. So give me lower 1399.5. But I get check those rules. Make sure that you don't get boned if they decide to if he actually decides to hold.
So an Underdog, it's 1399.5.
Yeah, it's a big number.
That's massive.
He got a lot of targets last year. That's why the projections are putting him through the roof. That's why he's the #1 fantasy guy. Because like four places make projections. They use numbers and they see what's going on in they see that there's not a lot. Maybe there's not a lot there. Maybe he's just as good as he was last year. Look at the target share, and then all right, let's dangle this ridiculously high number. I mean, he's insane chalk to lead the league in all the leader markets. That's why Dak is insane chalk. I mean, certainly, Sean, you've gotten down on some divisional market stuff, and you see how juicy everyone that isn't the Cowboys in those markets.
Jake Ferguson lower 5.5 receiving touchdowns.
You're gonna fade a tight end?
Yeah, he has 7 career receiving touchdowns in 2 years. I just don't see it. I think a lot of the goal line stuff's going to go to Zeke. And if CD Lamb does play, I think he's going to continue to eat up a ton there. I just don't see Jake Ferguson getting over that hump of 5.5. So yeah, give me the lower on the Jake Ferguson. What about you, Cereal? What do you like here? We got you for the over 10.5 wins. What else are you adding to your Cowboys card?
Before I get into it, I got to hear the story about how you guys ended up being Cowboy haters.
What do you mean?
Any NFL aficionado knows You two are the division rivals. You guys don't even have anything to do with us.
No. Cowboys were always number one hated because, well, one, it's Dallas is, if you're from the Northeast, Texas doesn't really fit in with the rest of the vibe there going on Northeast football. So Cowboys, and again, I was born in 83. So, early childhood fandom of the 90s. Cowboys, that was when they were good. You guys accidentally won a couple Super Bowls. So yeah, it's always been Cowboys enemy number one. Yeah, not even close.
It also, you sprinkle in the fact that there would be people wearing Cowboy stuff because they had a lot of bandwagon fan, like the curse of the Steelers and the Cowboys, where they were good. They were the only teams on TV, so they were scattered all over the place.
And you have the audacity to label yourself America's team. I love America. I hate Dallas. I mean, I went to a Phillies Dodgers game and a Dallas sucks chant broke out. Beautiful. That is how strong the sports hatred is.
It's uniting, and it is, because I do remember, like, back in the old days when we were kids, the Cardinals were also in the division, and I do recall like specifically there were much bigger rivalries between the Washington, Philly, and Dallas compared to Arizona, but also like the Giants Eagles rivalry strong too. The Commanders was always a little bit of a whatever, and the Cowboys you just hated. Maybe it's not rational, but they got good too, right? When I was like, coming off the 2 wins, figuring out what football was, and then these fucking Cowboys get good for 4 straight years. Of course you're gonna hate that. It's logical. So yeah, that's how the fuck the Cowboys came to be, and then just sprinkle in Tony Romo, sprinkle in Troy Aikman. And here we are, 3-14.
Fair enough. That's how I ended up hating the Eagles.
Eagles are easy to hate. See, this is something we can relate on. At least the Cowboys and the Giants come from sophisticated cities, not this low sewer dwelling trash of Philadelphia.
Oh, sorry, Ryan. I just saw you, fraternizing with the enemy over there.
What do you mean?
No, you and Cereal were saying, "Oh, hey, this is something we can bond on. Maybe you guys host your own podcast."
I was it was that brief eye contact where we decided to both spit in the direction of Philadelphia at the same time. That's all.
All right, let's get your
3-14 is still my prediction.
That is a disgusting act.
Cereal, what do you got for the folks?
So, first team to beat the Cowboys.
Ooh.
The Ravens are plus 350.
Oh, okay.
As I mentioned, not scared of the Browns. I don't know why everyone's hyping up the Browns like they're some sort of magical good team all of a sudden, but Ravens plus 350. Of course, splitting the series with the Eagles. Last time it was plus 110, down a little bit, plus 105 this year around. So still will take that one. And then of course, that's repeat from last year. Dak, the most touchdowns at plus 850.
So okay,
Dak most touchdowns plus 850. I don't mind the Eagles split bet.
That is a disgusting act.
As someone who watches those games from afar, generally seems to be what happens.
Well, they can't score a touchdown in Dallas, so.
Now, Cereal, was it a bummer when Dak had the most touchdowns in the league last year? Because hey, just setting you up for failure in the playoffs. Were you almost sad? Like, part of me would rather, if you're gonna continue to just run into these walls in the playoff, maybe better off just because Dak's a tough guy to get rid of when he throws a bunch of regular season meaningless passing touchdowns. Is there a part of you that's secretly rooting against Dak?
How's it meaningless when we need those to get into the playoff?
Well, because you get into the playoffs and then nothing happens, so ultimately it is meaningless. But yes, I could see how you could say it. I could see how someone might see it the opposite way there. What about underdog? Do you have any underdog plays you like for your Cowboys here?
Is that the same logic you use when Jalen Hurts gets pushed into the end zone?
Oh boy,
just curious.
I mean,
coming after the tush push.
Yeah, come on. Are you
they just buried Jason
talking about
Kelsey's
the most physical play in football, where you literally impose your will on the other team. They said they drew a line in the sand saying you can't get past that line, and they said, "Fuck you, we're bringing it." Yeah, that play.
Cereal. He
Love
still thinks that the new kid is going to be the same as Jason Kelsey, so he's a little bit in denial still.
No, I think we're going to miss Jason Kelsey, but I'm optimistic about Cam Jurgens. Mekhi Becton is certainly a guy who can move a pile 6 inches, and in a gotta have it play, it's tough to beat the tush push.
Mekhi Becton.
I call it brotherly shove, but feel free to use that in
You
your.
still got 3 people to push him
Put
in
that
there.
in your tall glass of haterade cereal. All right,
underdog in
yeah,
New
what do you
York. Yeah, we don't. They're getting rid of it, so I haven't really.
All right.
But if you want to throw something out there,
what do you? I mean,
like
it's basically the same numbers you can see.
Zeke rushing touchdowns 5.5. You going lower or higher?
Give me higher.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, how does he not? I mean, who else are they going to give the ball to around?
He just needs to fall into the end zone 6 times.
Yeah.
He could do that.
Are you worried about your running game? Zeke didn't. I would describe Zeke's performance last season as electric. It did seem like they were going to draft a guy, and then they just never ended up doing it.
No, I'm not really worried about it. I mean, we didn't have it last year, and Dak still put up number 1 scoring offense, number 1 in touchdowns, 3rd in yards, 2nd most 100-yard games. Was I worried about the offense then? Nope.
Ryan, I forget who started against the Packers in the playoffs. Was it? I assumed this
was that.
I assumed this amazing quarterback must have been injured. If
it is weird that Jordan Love.
Well, the quarterback didn't allow 6 touchdowns on the first 7 drives for the Packers.
It's true.
He did allow 1 that he threw to their defense. So partly
that's also true.
It's a little bit on Dak there.
Facts.
Are you talking about that nice little cut he did to pick off CD Lamb because CD Lamb didn't give 100% effort? That one?
Wow.
Whoa.
Sounds like Cereal's not ready to pay CD Lamb either, huh?
No, I'd rather take him.
You
Like I
take
said,
CD
get rid of
over.
that.
Yeah, you gave out your power rankings. Well, Cereal, thanks for being a good sport, hopping on. Where can people check you out? I know you're. Oh yeah, let's go over our official records. Kramer and I, Cowboys 3-14.
Nice job,
Cereal 11-6. Great Cereal logo. You can check him out on the Discord, Sir Long Dong.
Oh yeah.
Long Cox.
I can only imagine what type of interactions you have on Discord.
Mike Vrabel's worst
name.
nightmare.
He's gonna have to get the hedge clippers out for that. Cereal likes the higher on Zeke over on underdog 5.5 rushing touchdowns. I like the lower on the Ferguson receiving touchdowns. Kramer likes the lower 1399.5. CeeDee Lamb receiving yards, and Kramer and I have some, I don't even call them log shots, but decent value on Cowboys to go 0-17, last winless team, and Cowboys fewest wins. Sir Long Dong, aka Cereal, good chatting with you, and worst of luck on the season.
Always, fella. I'll be calling in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll be hearing if
Sunday night lines open up.
Yeah, let's get it.
We should let people know. I was just gonna say, Dan, you got to be in the Discord this year to call in. So.
Discord only for the calls. So join the Discord, hop in, get the phrase that pays, and let it ride.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second money green. He's Ryan.
Poor cowgirls.
Kramer, let it ride.